thought we would return to some of our myofascial release using a ball, or sometimes called ball therapy or tennis ball therapy. And always the best things to do are things where you are just using your own body and simple things that you already have. If someone tells you, oh, a Pilates reformer machine changed my life, you can just tell them, I can do all that on the floor. So I think quite often our monkey mind tells us we need complexity and we need props and we need like complex things, but just really simple tool like a ball is so useful. So let's just start today, moment of quiet and reflection, as we always do, just allowing ourselves to arrive onto the mat, arrive onto this idea of practice. Whatever we practice grows stronger. Whatever we spend our time doing becomes an inclination of our mind. So we get drawn back to things that bring us towards health and ease and well-being and balance. So just allow yourself to be here and maybe let go a bit of the busyness of your day, whatever you need to do today. You might like to just notice the breath, notice just the next breath in and out. Maybe inviting that mischievous grin onto the face. So today we might start with a quote from my hero, Mr. Lao Tzu, the old master from the Tao Te Ching. And Lao Tzu tells us, trying to control the future. Let's talk about that. If you realize that all things will change, then there is nothing that you'll hold on to. When you try and control the future, it's like trying to take the master carpenter's tools. When you pick up the master carpenter's tools, chances are you'll cut off your hand. So these are the words of the Tao Te Ching. The master carpenter's tools is not a ball. Let's come down and just see if you can find a kind of comfortable seated position. You're welcome to start in a chair if you like. And we're going to start with the simplest thing, which is just take the ball under your foot. There's a natural kind of plane or arc of your foot if you curl your toes. So just take the ball under that, your plantar fascia, and we are just rolling forward and back. So as you probably know by now, kidney meridian starts under our feet. Kidney number one, right under the ball of the feet. When we practice Qigong, this is a very important point as it's a main point of connection between our body and the earth beneath us every step that we take in life. So just explore the whole sole of the foot. So many bones, so many little places of tension. And as you'll know, if you've ever done reflexology, the entire bottom of the foot is like a map of the body, connects to head, to organs, and quite often you can use the foot as a little bit of a window into changing the energy in the rest of your body. Western medicine wants us to believe that we can just focus on one part of the body, but of course everything is connected. Blood, energy, oxygen flowing through every part of our body all day. So if you've just been under one foot, just roll the ball under your other foot. And just like before, explore, roll it forward and back. You might like to grip the toes around the ball. Take it all the way to the heel. And if you like to, you can even stand up and put all your weight on the ball. And this really helps with our ankle joints, our Achilles tendon, our calves, things that we need every day, every step. All right, so we're just going to leave the ball for one moment and lean our hands back, and we're going to take our one leg and just lift it over the top of the other knee. So it might feel a little awkward, but some of my favorite acupressure points are in the back of the leg, in your calves, that kind of mango-y muscle that lives in the back of our leg behind our shin bone. So see if you can find a spot that's kind of halfway between your ankle and your knee. This is bladder 57 in English. Can't remember the Chinese name, but in English, support the mountain. And this is a really good point for lower back pain. So you might just find a spot, just explore. You might notice a little tightness or tension, and you might like to roll the ankle as I am. And just sigh out, let go. Any sense of holding on. All right, let's come over to the other side, straight to the other side. Just roll that leg right on top of the knee. We're using our knee as a massage tool. Very good massage tool, always using our body weight. And that bladder 57 point, halfway between ankle and knee, but you can just explore the whole way along the back of the calf. Generally find some good release here. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our ball back and just place it right under one of your hips. So you might be as if you're about to sit on the ball, sort of just not on your sit bone. So if you feel like kind of orientating your body, your greater trochanter is this kind of knobby bit that your femur bone sits in. So just put the ball under that bone, and we're going to just come back onto our elbows and just see, actually we might sit up first and just put a little bit of weight on this. Lift, press through the hands, and the ball comes under your glute muscles. So the one that's a little higher on your hip is your glute med. These, remember, are the biggest muscles in your whole body, and the glute muscles, and they're kind of a little bit one on top of the other, so they can be a little hard to find. And you might just explore around. When you find a spot that feels a little tight or tender, not a bone, just a spongy muscle bit, just stop and allow the body to sink down. And you might find that it's quite a strong sensation. Take a big breath. And if you feel any kind of release, you might just move and roll again. And find another spot, and then just let your body sink down. And maybe one more will just come up, roll the ball, dropping down. All right, now we'll come onto our elbows and take the ball a little wider. So we're going to open out our hip. So on the side, we've got our piriformis and our TL muscles. So I like to quite often here just find a spot sort of behind that hip bone and just lift the leg and extend it out. If you want to just take a still shape, you might take a figure 4. But I like to just explore with my leg, just noticing the bits where tension is a little stuck. Make sure as you lean back that you're not kind of hunching up your shoulders too much. You want neck to be long. You want upper body to be soft. And just explore as much as you can, any range of movement. If you'd like to, you might lift the hip up and just roll a little. Again, just finding out the spot where tension might be stuck. When you're ready, you can take the ball out and we'll come just straight over to the other side. And just like we did before, just roll the tailbone up, bring the ball under, and we're just going to kind of sit on top of the ball. Just let everything relax down. All right, maybe rolling around. So your sit bone is your ischial tuberosity. Yes, that is the real name for your sit bone. Hence why nobody ever says it. So you might explore around your ischial tuberosity, and you don't want to be right on the bone. You just want to be around it. Maybe just noticing, like quite often we just think of our body as one big lump, but just noticing the difference of these bones and where they are in our body and the muscles around them. You might roll the ball around almost back to the sacrum, that bit where your spine kind of locks into your pelvic bone. And just either side of that is your sacroiliac joints, the joints that connect between your sacrum and your hip bones. Joints that connect where your spine kind of tucks into the sacrum. All right, we might come down onto the elbows and lift the tailbone again. Keep exploring the whole region of these glute muscles. And then you might like to start lifting that foot and just exploring those muscles that we use when we open our hip out to the side, our piriformis, our TFL. Good thing to notice, of course, is if one side feels a little easier than the other, the more awareness we bring, the more likely we are to be able to change some of our habits and bring balance back to the body. One thing that I've learned doing this one is it's good to turn your toes inwards rather than outwards. So see if you can. Sometimes it feels better if you turn your toes out, but maybe some of the tension in the body comes from that element of just not keeping our legs in balance under the body. We might actually do another one. So we might go another acupressure point. Let's take the ball out for a minute. Our stomach 36 point, which is our extramal point, is right in the point where our shin bone meets the bone on the side, the fibula, tibia and fibula. So if you trace up the two bones along your leg, right where they're about to meet, is our stomach 36 point. So I like to use my heel for this one, just rolling the heel and pressing in. And this is a point for extra energy. So at the end of your day, when you're feeling spent and you needed a little bit more, this is a great point to just help our energy move. It's on our stomach meridian. Maybe we help our spleen convert a little more food we've eaten into energy that we need just to get to the end of the task. And then you might try over to the other side. So right in the point where those two leg bones meet. All right, so let's come down all the way onto our backs. And if you have a block, you might like to use a block. We're going to just start with the ball under our lumbar spine. And you can also use a double ball, or if you have two tennis balls, put them inside a sock. And this can be really nice just so that when you lie back on your lumbar spine, you can feel that sense of spine being balanced. And it's totally fine just to use one ball and do one side at a time, but I like to just lie, and the point you're looking for is pretty much directly behind your belly button. So if you want to trace the line of your belly button around to the back, should have the balls around in the corresponding spot. And then see if you can just drop your sit bones down and just let your body ease into it. Take a few breaths here. Now, if you just have the ball on one side, just have a few breaths on one side and then move it over. You don't want to be resting on the spine. You want to be just letting the body be heavy. And you might remind yourself of the wisdom of Lao Tzu once again. When you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will hold on to. Just allowing yourselves the insight of impermanence. Everything leaves us. Every emotion, every thought, every feeling. Just take a few breaths, and this point in the back of our body is in Chinese medicine called our Ming Men. And these are points on our bladder meridian. And a really great back release is to connect with these points, and at the same time, if you can, come back to your bladder 57 point underneath the calf. So you can use these 2 points together. So you want to be right behind the navel in the lower back, and then explore into the point right in the middle of the calf. So halfway between ankle and knee. And anyone who has lower back pain, if you have a job or a task where you need to sit a lot, you might be driving or sitting at a desk. This is a really great way to release energy back through the bladder meridian. Allow your blood to carry the oxygen and energy that you need. All right, let's bring our feet back down to the ground. Prop yourself up on your elbows. We're going to just roll the ball up the spine, and just like before, if you just have the one ball, just go for one side. We want to avoid the bone of the spine, but either side of the spine inside the shoulder blades. So this muscle is our rhomboids. And just lie back, just like we did before. Just let your body be heavy. And just keep exploring till you find the spot. You might roll up and down a little. And this is another point where that double ball will serve you well if you have it. And you want to just let the shoulders be heavy. Let the tailbone be heavy. You might invite back the cheeky grin so there's no tension in your jaw or your face. Big sigh out. And if you want to go even deeper here, you can lift the tailbone up and roll along. And this can be quite intense, but just see how you go. Just let everything be heavy. And we'll come back down. All right, so back to our single ball. We're going to bring our support under the head. Can be on the floor if you like, but sometimes a little bit easier to access shoulder and neck points when you're and you have your head slightly raised. We're going to bring the ball right in the middle of the neck and just let the head be heavy. You might take a breath here, and you might also like to just gently start turning from one side to the other. Now, don't turn so far that the ball pops out. You might even like to just hold it in place. And just explore not just the middle of the neck, but maybe a little bit under those points under the occiput bones. So make sure you acquaint yourself with those two big bones at the base of your skull. And let's see if we can find those points now. This is our Feng Shi, our wind pool. So we'll bring the ball right underneath the bone of the occiput and just let it turn to the side. You might turn very slowly and just explore. And then maybe back through the center and then turn to the other side. You might have to hold the ball in place, but just let the head be heavy. Hold so much frustration in our neck. All right. So a little further down the neck, we're going to come to, and you might use the block, you might not. Just see how it goes with your body, remembering all our shoulders are different shapes. So we're going to find our Levator Scapulae. This is the muscle that helps us shrug. So take the ball right to the top, the inside top of your shoulder. And I like to just open the arm, bend the elbow, and just explore this muscle. And just take your time and turn the hand, turn the arm any way that just shifts the relationship of the muscle to the ball. And if you're struggling to do this on the ground, you can also use the wall as well. So just lean your back flat to the wall. And you can sit in a chair or stand and just roll the ball behind the back of the shoulder. So we're looking for just on top of the shoulder blade, on the side of the neck. And then right next to the Levator Scapulae is our Trapezius. It's this big lumpy muscle out the side of the neck that goes right along the top of the shoulder. So this one, another one, a little hard to find, even though it's a massive muscle, but if you're lying down, you might need to use the block to access it. Whatever movement to release this works really well. You might like to just find a spot with the ball and then lift the head and turn from side to side. Just noticing all those little cracks and pops. All right, nice one. We might explore the deltoids quickly. Let's roll onto the side of the body. Deltoid is right at the top of your shoulder. Just let your body lie on the ball, and you might like to just roll over a little bit. Roll forward and back. And then another muscle that I always really like to get a release from is the one we use for kind of throwing the ball or playing tennis or any kind of sport where you're pushing out through your shoulder. So this is our teres minor. If you take the ball just behind the shoulder and roll onto it. You might feel a little bit unsure where it is. So if you like, we can just come up to sit and then we might go onto the other side. But our teres minor is right on, if you take your hand over the shoulder, right behind. So sort of just behind your armpit. And you might just picture yourself throwing out. So that's the one we're looking for. Shake it out. We'll come down onto the other side. We'll start with our deltoid, just on the outside of our shoulder, maybe rolling forward and back. And then we'll tuck the ball around the back. Just find that point, just sort of behind the armpit, top of the shoulder, and roll back onto it. So hopefully you're just using your beginner's mind, being a little playful and learning a little bit about the muscles in the body and what we might use them for, how they might support us. And when you're ready, we're just going to roll off the ball. And we'll come down all the way onto our back, drawing our knees into the belly. Maybe a little rock from side to side. And then let's take our feet towards the ceiling. And we're just going to reach through, maybe grab a hold of the ankles or the shins. And you might like to rock for a little bit of happy baby time. If you'd like to join me, I'm going to take a little rock and roll and just rolling back. So you might press your hips up, tuck in your chin and roll along the spine. Let's come back down onto the ground. We're going to take one leg over the other leg and just lift the foot off the floor. Bring the hands to that leg. And you might just take a moment here in your figure 4 shape, feeling that strong sensation on our abductors, our IT band. Let's extend our arms wide and flat. We'll take a big breath in. And as we sigh out, just roll those knees across the body and take them down towards the ground. Keep that shoulder heavy as you twist. Big sigh out. Let's roll onto the body, untangle the legs. We'll take our other foot over the knee. draw the foot off the ground, maybe just holding the leg in place. Feel that strong sensation on the outside of the leg. Keeping our jaw relaxed. Let's extend the arms wide. Shoulders heavy. Take a big breath in. And as we exhale, we'll take the legs across the body. Really let your body just ease into the twist. Let's untangle. We'll press ourselves up into a seated position. No rushing, just take your time. We're going to extend our legs wide and just walk the hands forward. Let the head be heavy. And just give yourself a few breaths here. We'll walk the hands back, bring the legs together. We're going to take a big breath in and grow tall. As we sigh out, just take one hand to the outside of the opposite foot. Inhale back up, and then exhale, reach forward. Just take a few more in your own breath. Inhaling to grow tall, exhaling to reach across. Doesn't matter how far or how close you get to the feet. Just keep pressing your legs down, curling your toes in. Let's come back up to sit. We're going to zigzag our legs. So they're kind of two 90-degree angles. We'll take a big breath in. As we sigh out, walk the hands around. And just maybe explore a little. You might bend the elbows and take another breath in, sigh out. We'll come back to the middle, lift our knees and windscreen wiper them out. And then straight to the other side, zigzag of the legs, big breath in, and slowly walk the hands. And let it go. Let's bring the hands back to the center. And one more, opening out. And we'll finish today's practice just coming back into a seated or a kneeling position. Might like to just take your hips a little higher than the knees and bring your hands back to the body. Giving ourselves a moment just to notice any changes. We may have released tension through our hips, through our shoulders, through our calves. Remembering our body always has that negativity bias, always sees sticks as snakes. We need this to stay alive, to alert ourselves of danger, but we also need to bring our attention and our gratitude to positive experiences. So you might just take a moment to notice how your body feels. Maybe have a moment in gratitude for coming to the mat. And before I leave you, just those words from Lao Tzu again. When you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will hold on to. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's tools. When you use the master carpenter's tools, chances are you'll cut off your hand. All right, let's bring our hands together and we'll draw our palms together. Let's take a bow and just acknowledge and thank each other for the shared energy of practice today.